Hello, YouTube friends, and welcome to another Sims 4 speed build. Today, we are building in the world Granite Falls. I'm building on the Green Getaway lot, so you can see I bulldoze the house that comes with the game, and I am putting up an A-frame. I made this build as part of an r/The Sims, r being Reddit, challenge. If you go to r/The Sims, they have, I believe it's called Biweekly Build Challenge, and you can view all the past challenges. And basically, the moderators or whoever is in charge puts out a challenge saying, this term, try building this or building that. And this time it was an A-frame. So this is the A-frame that I built. And when I think of A-frames, I think of kind of cabiny, if that makes sense, camping. So I built this in Granite Falls, and it uses the outdoor living pack, the camping pack, and the base game. My hope in only using a pack or two when I'm building is to make the builds on the gallery accessible to as many people as possible, so that way you don't have to have all the same packs that I have to play in my builds, if that's something that you're interested in doing. So here you can see I'm building this little pool deck, and it turns out you have to do a little foundation to build a pool. I think I built the pool outside it and then I moved it in, and that seemed to work pretty well. But I like this round little pool. I'm imagining that it's more of a hot tub, but I think it turned out cute. I messed with the roof, however, and the stairs forever. And it was just really kind of awkward to try to put the stairs in and make them fit. And I could have done a ladder, but it just didn't seem right with the build. I really wanted to do this wooden staircase. I think it gives cabin A-frame the kind of vibe that I was looking for. And you can see here, I'm putting a lot of debug things on the side of the house. And the reason I'm doing that is because I like those items and I'm sort of considering using them in the build, but I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to put them. So for now, I just put them off to the side to see where they might work. And later on, because when you're in just build mode, like not with a family, but in manage worlds or whatever it is, you don't have the nice little family inventory to put your stuff away. So I end up putting a lot of things in the basement level, like in that black void beneath the house. And that way I can sort of keep things in a separate space and later insert them into the build if I find a spot for them. Here you can see I am putting trees, debug trees, underneath the cabin, and I'm scaling them so that they look like bushes underneath, because for whatever reason, when I put the stilt foundation on, the game was not allowing me really to get underneath there and put plants, and I wanted to put something because what is the point of having the house on stilts if there's nothing underneath the stilts? The stilts need to be there for a reason. So I put all these plants under there by actually putting them in the basement level and scaling them and raising them up and down. And it took me a while to figure out, but eventually I did. And I think it turned out pretty cute. I'm also working a little bit more with terraforming in this build, for instance, around the pool deck, just to give it a little bit more dimension. Not a ton. I wish I had terraformed underneath those stilts before, and I know that I could go back and do it. It's possible to raise the house up and do some work and put it back down and so on. But after all I had done with the plants, when I started to do that terraforming, it just messed up all my debug plants, and I did not want to undo the work that I had already done, even though I did have to redo some of it. So I ended up just kind of leaving the house underneath, mostly as it was, in terraforming around the pool deck. I don't think that I have ever actually taken my Sims to Granite Falls to go camping. For whatever reason, it's just never come up in my gameplay. I mostly just use that game pack for the items in it. But if they did go camping, they would have a much more luxurious experience than any of the camping I've ever done, because when I was a child, we went camping pretty frequently, and we would stay in a tent. You would rent a campground space and stay in a tent. And some of the highlights from that, at least one of them, when we were camping a few hours away from our home in like a popular camping area. My brother and I were playing in the woods, as children do, and I stepped on a hornet's nest that was in the ground, and the hornets all stung me and my brother, and my dad had to take us to the hospital. Me in particular, like my brother didn't need medical treatment, but of course we all had to go. So that was fun, and you can imagine for many years after that, I was not big on camping and didn't really get over that until I was a teenager. This house is kind of deceptively small. I think the A-frame build makes it look bigger because you have those 2 tile stretches on either side that actually aren't usable space. And there's probably a way that you could put some furniture in there, which I do on the second floor. I have a little skylight area that I turned into a reading nook, but I just kind of left it straight on the bottom. And I ended up having to put the shower outside. I mean, I guess I didn't have to, but I thought it would make the most sense to do this little outdoor shower. So I put a camp shower there, sort of imagining that if you're coming home from a camp activity, or perhaps if you've been stung by 30 hornets, you could jump into that shower and rinse yourself off. And that way I didn't have to put a shower on the inside or a bathtub. I'm sure there's a space here where you could insert one if you wanted to, but I ended up only doing a kitchen sink and then a tiny water closet with a toilet in it. And I also put in that bush that Sims can use as a toilet. So there are plumbing items and items that function as plumbing items that aren't actually plumbing items. But I figured since it is so small inside and really could only fit 1 or 2 Sims, I didn't think it was a big deal to have the kitchen sink double as the bathroom sink. In this context, I think it makes sense. I try to put as many trees and bushes and things around that or outdoor shower to make it a little bit secluded. And then you can see I build a fire pit and other things and kind of move those off to the side and separate the shower area with a little walkway. I also normally put shrubbery kind of all around the edges of my build or some type of fencing or something like that, but I didn't this time. I left a little gap where that sort of open field is next to the lot because I figured it can kind of be a space for your Sims to do outdoor activities and utilize even though it's not technically part of the lot. So I end up leaving a small gap in the trees and things, sort of where you can see I'm putting that camping equipment, like the picnic table and so on, to kind of open up that field for the Sims to use. I do my best to cover this lot in greenery and some different colored flowers and things to make it look like it really is part of the outdoor space. And then the furnishings inside are pretty simple. Like I said, it's just base game and the outdoor living stuff pack. So it is a little bit austere, definitely nothing luxurious, but I think fits a cabin that a Sim might have and sort of use every year, like maybe during the fall season they come camping with their family. So it is on the gallery under tinysimbug if you'd like to download it, and please enjoy the rest of the video. Thanks so much for watching.